I'm 27 years old, and this year I am probably going to close the year down at $1 million in net profit. And all I want to do is quit my job. I hate it. It's such a huge stressor in my life. And the reason I say my job, most of you guys know I own a dropshipping company that does, high-ticket e-commerce. But I built a company that I hate. I feel like I'm in a job. I feel like I left the rat race just to go right back into it. I mean, I'm doing sales calls every single day from 12 to 5, and I can't find a way to delegate because I tried doing it, and instead of making 80 to 100K a month, when I delegate to other sales reps, I make 15, 20K a month, and that doesn't even cover my, my expenses for ads and all. Well, I mean, it does cover it, but, it's not enough money. It's not enough money. It's not worth it. And so what happens is, I'm at a point in life right now where I've got a net worth of a little bit over $1 million in cash. And, it's not a lot of money. It really is not a lot of money. You can't really do much, but it's enough money to start asking yourself, especially from where I came from I came from zero, a few years back. Like, what do I really want in life? And is this really what I want? Because it feels like golden handcuffs. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of that term before, the golden handcuff term, but it's when you make just enough money to be satisfied, and so you don't want to leave, or you can't leave, but not enough money to actually really be satisfied and fulfilled. You're kind of in that middle ground where they got you in these golden handcuffs, and it's a tricky situation to be in, because to be honest, I felt much richer and wealthier when I had $75 in my bank account. I mean, I was so much more free. Now I have just like these not real responsibilities that I've just put on myself, because I could also just go to Costa Rica for 3 months if I want to, but now I have the opportunity cost of like, okay, I go to Costa Rica and just relax for 3 months, but then I'm missing out on $300,000 effing dollars. And the thing is, when you get rich, on your way up, you think you're the shit, right? But when you start making money, you realize how lucky you were to find the industry you're in, right? And like, obviously, I got to where I am because of my talents, my skills. I'm a great salesman. And obviously, I mean, there's a lot of people that started at level 0 and got to level 1. Well, I got to level 10 doing this shit, Obviously, there's a lot of skill needed. I learned how to do SEO. I learned how to use ads. I learned how to do marketing. Learned how to, create converting website systems. But the actual money, the product I'm selling, the way I'm selling it, this high ticket sales in this thing, I got lucky to get into it. And it's kind of this thing where I tell myself, I'm good enough to just leave and then come back whenever I want, because I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur. But I have to be humble, because the reality is, I am, but I also got lucky. And so that opportunity cost of leaving and being like, well, shit, what if, this only lasts for 2 years? What if I'm only going to make money for 2 years, 3 years, and make, $3 or $4 million, but I have to be super smart? I mean, I live out of fear. And I'm trying to live out of love. And that's why I created this channel, right? Because I love teaching people stuff. And if I can generate some passive income through this channel also, then that's just a win-win, because in reality, you don't need much money to live. And that's also what I try to teach in this channel, right? Because my goal is to retire. I love business, but fuck working, dude. I'm 27. I mean, yeah, I know that sounds arrogant, but like, I don't want to work. I want to be with my family. I want to have a nice home. And this is the reality. If you buy yourself a nice house, I'm talking, you can get a nice house for $500,000-$600,000. You can get a really nice house for $1 million, and depending on which city you live in. But if you live in a pretty decent normal city, $600,000, you get yourself anything like these houses that we're looking at. Let me turn the camera a little bit. I know you guys can see it like that. It's kind of wide lens. But you can get yourself any one of these houses in the $600K. Once you have that, your biggest expense is gone. What else do you have? Food. All right, let's say you spend $4,000 on food. That's $150 a day at Publix. And that's really like, you eat Chilean sea bass, you can even go out every single day. I mean, $150 on food, that's people, I used to live on a monthly budget of EBT card, $320, I think that's what they used to give me. For two, for me and my ex. Hold on, I've got my whole cable bundled up here. All right. So boom, that's $4,000. You've got, let's say, activities, another $2,000, and kids' schools and things like that, another $3,000. Like, that's pushing it, right? Like, let's say you need $10,000, $10,000 to live with a family. If you're single, you need $5,000, and that's including rent to live a really good life, and vacations and everything. I mean, you can take, let's say, $5,000 a month times 12. Oh my God, I'm terrible at math. What is that, guys? 70? 60K? 60K a year? We'll just roll with 60. If it's not that, who cares? You get the gist. 60K. Let's say you take an incredible vacation where you book a first class ticket to the Maldives, or you go anywhere to Cannes twice a year, you go skiing. Let's say you spend $15,000 on your vacation. That's a good amount of money, being single in a relationship. You can have a lot of fun, It's another $30,000. For $90K a year, you live a dream life. I mean, a dream life. Now, the goal is to not have to work for that $90K. You want it passive. Now, let's say, for simplicity, the rate of return of the S&P 500 is, 10%. You need $900,000 in an S&P, in a brokerage account, buying SPY, S&P 500, anything, VOO, anything that tracks the S&P. Now, I'm not saying take it out, right? Like, I know they got the 4% rule, 5, 6, 7% rule, whatever it is, like, I don't live by that. As long as I know that I'm making money and all the money I'm spending is somehow coming back to me in the long run, I'm fine spending it. I hate the idea of having to pay to live. I hate the idea of having to pay to live. I mean, so once you buy yourself a house for $600K and you have $1 million in the stock market, your life is basically free. Your life is free. You're good. You're set. And so I'm looking at a house right now. I'm going to spend around $600K. That's the budget I've given myself. Property taxes and all that stuff are a bitch. I mean, you're going to pay another $1,100 a month, but still, you get equity and, make up money, make believe money. It's real money, I guess, when you sell, but it doesn't really count, does it? But I factor it into my ROI. So the goal is to have $1.5 million. And that's like a starting point. Like, all you people who are starting the online e-commerce, whenever you make your first $100,000, that is not spending money, dude. Do not go put a down payment on a 570 or a Porsche or a Range Rover or a G-Wagon. Do not do that. Don't get yourself a high rise. That money is your safe play money. It's that money you put in your bank account so you can move to Thailand, spend $10,000 a year to live like a freaking king. Massages in the morning, happy ending if you feel like it. I wouldn't do that, but hey, to each their own, to each floats their boat, whatever the saying is. Oh, by the way, for those who think I have a speech impediment, I lived my whole life in France, so I sound American, but sometimes I mess up my words and people are like, is he retarded or does he just have a speech impediment? No, it's because it is not my first language. But yeah, $1.5 million is the goal. Now, there's a lot of ways to get to $1.5 million. Now, that's a starting goal, right? Like, the goal is like 200 million, and the short-term goal is 5 million. 5 million is great. 5 million at 5%, 250K a year. You're golden. You're good. You don't have to. I want an excessive lifestyle, right? Like, I'm very humble in a lot of ways right now, but I do want to be in Monaco on my yacht. That's what I'm working towards. That's why I'm building SaaS right now and transitioning from, the commerce version that I'm doing right now to becoming the actual marketplace, right? Doing the software behind it and the industry solutions for the real issues. Now, how do you generate $1.5 million? I know that sounds like a super daunting task when you're at zero, but $1 million is just 10 times 100 grand. Now, I know that sounds, oh yeah, of course it is. That's easy to make. But 100 grand, I mean, dude, you can cut hair and get to 100 grand. I mean, you can make 350 grand a year cutting hair if you're smart with it. You know what I mean? You get 60 bucks a cut, you cut 15 people a day, whatever that is, 1,500, that's 30 grand, 40, 45 grand a month. You know, if you're intelligent, you're at 3, you know, you can do it. You can do it. This is America, man. The land of the brave, the land of the free, and the land of you can do whatever the fuck you want, be successful at it. Yeehaw. So if 1.5 is the goal, you need to find a way to generate income, and you're not going to do it through a job, dude. You can wait 35 years and stash away 150 bucks in your S&P every single month, and that's great. Please do that. Please do that. But if you want to get there faster, because there's a difference between getting your dick sucked in the back of a G-Wagon at 26 years old versus at 65 years old. There's a big fucking difference. You need to start generating active income right now. There's a lot of ways to do that. There's so many ways to do it. I mean, dude, the other week I was looking for houses. I was like, let me go see if I can knock on doors and get deals on houses. And like, I found 3 or 4 houses that I negotiated $130,000 to $150,000 below asking price, because I convinced them, hey, I'm not an investor. I'm looking for this for me, my son, and my wife, and, you know, just give them the spiel. And I was like, oh my God, I can make 200 grand a year doing this, just flipping houses as a wholesaler, just knocking on doors. This is the secret. You got to do stuff better than everyone else. Magnus Carlsen, you know, the grandmaster in chess, he was asked what his secret is, and he really pondered on it. And he was like, you know, my biggest advantage is that I'm just better than other people. And it's true. It's true. So many people are average. So many people are average. If you just put love into things and do things correctly, you can make a lot of money. Find anything. There's money in everything, dude. You can do landscaping and make money, but you need to create a business, and then you need to sacrifice 3 to 4 years of your life, and all the money that you make, you've got to put it into investments. Don't buy anything. Drive a Honda. Chill. You know, get yourself a nice spot. You know, spend the $2 grand a month in rent. It's really nice having a nice place. I used to live in the hood. It's a terrible vibe. You don't want to see crackheads and pawn stores all around you. You know, I mean, fuck that, you know. And the occasional shootings. Well, occasional was every 2 to 3 days in Jacksonville, where I used to live. But yeah, so that's the escape plan. That's what you guys need to do. I am going to dive deeper into business, into everything, and give you guys just a bunch of real examples. I'll talk about stocks, about real estate, about investing, about the business that I have, how to make money, how I would start from zero if I was I'm going to do all that kind of stuff and tell you guys about it. So tune into the channel, like, subscribe, let's blow this channel up, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.